How old were you when you first started pursuing music?
Um, I first started the writing lyrics, poems when I was in the fifth grade because that was the beautiful time where kids just love to bully you and it's not cool. So I chose poetry as an escape, and then that started when I was around 9 or 10, and then 2 years later for Christmas I got a guitar when I was 12, and for some reason I never thought of combining the two until a month later after I got my guitar. And I had been watching this show called Instant Star, and I was like, I want to do music. I want to do that, personally as like a solo project. So, I did. And um, I started teaching myself for 2.5 years until I finally got a guitar down. And then I finally weaved in the lyrics with the music to make songs.
What's the process like for you when it comes to songwriting?
The process when it comes to songwriting is very spontaneous for me, because with songwriting you can't plan a day where it's like, okay, I'm gonna write a song today and it's gonna be fantastic. You can't work like that, and if you do, then you're an idiot. um, you have to let it come out naturally, because if you force it out it won't translate to an audience and it won't make them think, or they won't want to relate to it. So for me, I sleep when I'm not working and stuff, and my ideas just come out of nowhere. And so I'll grab my guitar, or I'll grab my journals, or I'll grab my phone to record something, into it. But lately it's lyrics first, um, music second, and with that you can edit it and do whatever. And the entire process for me to write one song usually takes around 20-30 minutes.
What's the hardest song you had to write?
The hardest song that I've ever had to write, it's a good question. Um, the hardest song that I ever had to write had to be when my best friend, for a very long time, we just all of a sudden just separated, and then I was just like, wow, there's a lot of stuff that we never got to discuss. She was a very, leader person. She told me what to do, what to wear, all this stuff. She even changed my mind about how the world is, and I'm very sarcastic now because of it. And I wrote literally about 46 songs worth of material of that, and that was some of the hardest stuff I've ever had to go through. But it was also just releasing, and it felt like releasing the biggest fart you've ever had in your entire life. And it just was satisfying, but it was also very hard to go through. And we're somewhat friends now, and I shared some of the music with her, and she's like, thank you for being honest with me. And it was hard, but it was all worth it.
What are your influences, or who do you look up to when it comes to songwriting?
I look up to Stevie Nicks a lot. She's an amazing songwriter. I love the 70s and the early 80s, because at the time there was no internet, and there was no, media, as much media as there is today, hurting, their creativity and stuff. So I say Stevie Nicks, and today I'd say Casey Musgraves and Miranda Lambert.
What was your experience like when you first performed in front of an audience?
It was very nerve wracking because I was only like 14. I was a freshman in high school, and yeah, it was scary because I had to spill out my guts 2 3 songs, just at an open mic night, and it was terrifying. But the release, or the almost serenity in paradise that that you're in after you perform, is beautiful, and it's like graduating high school. You just it's just you can breathe again, and then you move on to the next project, and the more you do it, the better it is. But the first time, it was like jumping into a pool the first time.
Did you get any comments back from your performance?
Yeah, of course, like my friends were like, "Oh, that was so great, and we loved it." But I mean, of course, like, I'm my own worst critic, and so I'm like, "Oh, I did this wrong. My voice cracked here. My glasses fell off here." But yeah, they're really supportive, and now that, you know, I have done it for so many years, writing and performing, I know how, I guess I know how to perform now, and I know how to write, and I know how to do things correctly for me to get an audience to feel something, whether it be laughing or crying or hitting someone.